Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening or watching my comic book journey podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy, and today we shall go back to August 1987 for The Incredible Hulk, issue 334. And this one is written. This continues the run between Peter David and then penciler Todd McFarlane. Inker Jim Sanders III, colorist Petra Scotese, letterer Rick Parker, and editor was Bob Harras and Bobbie Chase. So let's go ahead and take a look at this cover right here. And what you see here is the Gray Hulk punching out Half-Life. And I'm not sure, did Half-Life... I think he has appeared in numerous issues, but yeah, he's changed over time. I think in this issue, he's more of a grotesque, skinny character, but he has appeared in various issues of Marvel Comics, such as Avengers West Coast and New Avengers, right? Most Wanted Files or something like that, but. As for an antagonist wise for this issue, I mean, you can tell by the look of it already. He is a grotesque type of character. So, kind of looks like a corpse. And this one's going to be very interesting. So I'll talk about him later. But let's talk about this issue. Okay, so with this issue, Bruce Banner is wanting to get home so he can be with his love of his life, Betty Banner, the woman that he pretty much has avoided and pissed her off, not knowing that she pretty much took off to spend time with the only guy that she feels cares and loves her, and that's Ramon Morales. Ramon does not care that she's married to Bruce Banner, because in a way he feels that, she belongs to him. And sure enough, he once Bruce Banner arrives at the Gamma base, he hears from everyone, because they know that she left with Ramon. And as they did some researching, she's in a hotel with Ramon. So what are they doing? Well, for the most part, they didn't do anything. They talked, and if anything, I think she just, as of loneliness, she just wanted to be around someone who cared about her, because she feels that her husband doesn't care about her that much. So next thing you know, both, Bruce and Rick head to the hotel, and they barge into the hotel room, which leads to almost a fight between Bruce Banner and Ramon. But as you know, Bruce is not, by himself. The Doctor, he's not a fighter, not like his Hulk persona. And so Ramon picks a fight with Rick, and of course Rick is, he learned a lot from Captain America, so he could pretty much fight. But for the most part, this issue, features Bruce and Betty together again. And in fact, Bruce spends some money in the hotel to be alone with his wife. But one problem. As, he's had, some good hours with his wife. She wants to continue to snuggle in bed. And she asks to be held and hugged. But there's a problem. See, Bruce Banner and, when Rick had that Hulk persona, when the sun goes down, he'll transform. And you see as their whole, Bruce and his wife are holding each other, but then he turns gray and becomes the Hulk. See, what happened is that they forgot the time change, and sure enough, what they thought was like 5 o'clock p.m. was actually 6 o'clock p.m. When the sun starts to go down, Rick discovers the problem. He's like, "Oh crap! If they're together, Grey Hulk and Betty, what can happen? And will Betty's life be in danger?" And he tries to rush there, but and while he rushes there, all we know is that we see Bruce Banner and Betty pretty much holding each other, hugging each other, but then you see his arm turning gray, and she's screaming like, "You're hurting me, you're hurting me," and then I don't know. Rick is just shocked. You see a hole in the wall, and the Grey Hulk comes jumping out, and he mentions that Bruce got lucky that she wasn't hurt badly, but we don't know how badly she was hurt when he started. When Grey Hulk came through and was holding Betty. Geez, I don't know what's going on. You just realize that things are just getting out of hand, and you just wonder, poor Bruce and poor Betty. It's just they're a couple that love each other, but unfortunately, due to circumstances, especially during that time, they can't really be together. Kind of weird now because isn't Betty Banner now the Red She-Hulk or something like that? Of course, they have to change things up for the new generation of comic book readers, or the younger generation. I don't know how I feel about Betty becoming, any supervillain or super heroine or anything like that. Marvel's done that to many characters, and I don't know. It just kind of feels weird to me, but at the same time, it sells. When Red Hulk came out, that was huge. Red She-Hulk came out, that was pretty big. So those characters are popular. They found their stride, and they know that what people want is, well, again, Hulk in Marvel Comics is not the same as it was back in the 80s or so. As you can see here, we know that Bruce and his wife had Whoopi, but at the same time, that when you think about Rick being concerned, I think it's just the more concerned as, oh my gosh, what if the two had sex and he turned into the Hulk, the Grey Hulk. And I think what's interesting is that when you go back to read, well, not if you don't go back, but if you read the Savage Dragon, a character with enormous strength and super strong and so forth, they explore that the character and his wife, and that's the difference of today's comic books compared to back then. It's just really wild. Well, Eric Larson takes things up a new level in comic book erotica, I suppose. But there's only so much you can do for a comic book back then. But yeah, I found that interesting. Okay, now let's go back. What is this Half-Life? Well, as Grey Hulk was leaving Betty from the hotel, away from Betty, he runs into a professor who pretty much turned into a corpse thanks to a gamma bomb detonating in Colorado. The shock was, Grey Hulk thought it was the gamma bomb that turned him into the Hulk, but he found out that no, it was a year ago in Colorado, and they're like, what the heck is going on here? So, yeah, I think if anything, this character is Tony Masterson. He was a professor of English that was affected by the gamma bomb, and he was actually killed at the time, but his green-skinned husk body resurrected. Every night he fed on life, That's why he's called Half-Life. And he's pretty much, yeah, he's had enough of the Hulk and wants to go after him. But there's more to the story. But this one is pretty much the first appearance and the first confrontation. Again, not the most better looking villains. This one looks kind of creepy, and again, yeah, a little bit interesting, with all that. Well, it's not slime, but geez, they say green skinned husk, but it to me it looks like slime and crap. I don't know. It's just weird looking. But anyway, I think Incredible Hulk 334 was rather interesting. Um, I was trying to see where Peter David would take things, especially with Bruce and Betty, but yeah, he took it there as best he could uh, for a 1980s comic book under the Comics Code Authority. But other than that, yeah, good issue. Solid issue by Peter David, and again, wonderful artwork from Todd McFarlane. So, okay, everyone, you take care, and I will see you later. The Incredible Hulk 334. Definitely check it out. Wink, wink, and see you later, everyone. Bye bye.